Hello and welcome to Teacher Tech Blog. Today we're looking at Sesame. When I was first creating my account, I was prompted to create a class. So let's create a class. You get to choose your color, type in a name, and then if you notice you can add a co-teacher. So let's put in myself. It won't let me do that because it's me. But if you're on a team, this would be a great way to share information. To connect to subject, science, and we're going to choose 7th grade science. I found that it's primarily Alberta, Ontario. I believe there's Brown in here, but it's not Common Core 7th grade science so far. So hopefully that will be coming. And we're going to save. Then we can copy class enrollment to save ourselves time. I found that it's a lot of clicking. You don't have to enter a lot of information. It brings it to you. So I am going to save myself some double work and copy the enrollment of my 7th grade science I previously created. And here are all of my students. I am done. All right, done inviting students. Let's create an activity. We're going to, of course, add standards. And because I previously added 7th grade science at the beginning, it's less complicated. I don't have to do as much work. And let's say we're going to go with a rubric. I can add criteria, descriptions, and there's a total of 4 levels. You cannot change the 4 levels. And there we go, that's our rubric. You can also add tests or assessments. I have done that, so I will show you what I've done so far. This is the test. If you notice on the left-hand side, there are a heading of assessed students. Before I assessed them, they had unassessed, so you can see who you've assessed so far and who you have not. This was neat because I could add in photos. So if I wanted, I could do a ungraded test for students to check themselves against. So maybe a practice test. And then the total number of points and the goal. In this particular test, I did add a comment and they give a sliding scale. So you can change their grade by either typing it in or sliding the bar. Right now that's not working, but here if you notice I've changed it so it can change. And an overview, I could tap here, it will bring up my assessment goal or learning goals. All right, reports. Now this is slightly different and I'll show you how our assessment is evaluated. Because it's a test, it's highlighted. And it shows the comments and then how many points for this particular activity and what each student received. In the gradebook, it does not have comments, but it does show each person's grade, and just like the other section, it allows you to export to a spreadsheet. Standards. This was really cool because so far we were searching for it, but it'll show you what you've done so far. Now, I have planned and assessed in the legend, and if we scroll down, you notice this is blue and green. This shows me that I've planned it and that I've also graded it. A cool feature is that you can hide activities or assessments from students until you give them. So it would remain private and then you make it public. So it cannot be seen by students or parents, but then it will be seen once you make it public. Alrighty. For the student aspect, they have QR sign-in codes. This is really great if you have a cell phone, but limited if you do not. But great if they're always forgetting their passwords. You can invite the parents. You would change that to have them as a parent, and then put their email in, and then you could send information to them. You can also invite students. And then we have our snaps. I created a snap, it was a photo, and this shows my learning goal. So we were looking at, say, leaf is an organ. This would be true or false, and they'd be able to link to what the particular thing we want to look at there. Now let's create a snap. You would want to select your students. I can do everyone or just one. And now this is a little bit different than the app. The app when I clicked this, when I created it, gave me the options right away. It was much easier for this aspect, but in general, creating the assessment was a little bit more difficult. If I create a note, I could do it this way. But also it gives me the option for an audio record. Hello. Do photos. And then also take a photo. But that was just a really great difference. And back to activities. I did do a quote lab. If you notice, all my students are chosen, and then it is here. So overall, this was a really interesting, great app, but very limiting if you don't have tech in the classroom, if you don't have tech at home, and if it's not individual tech like a cell phone. All right, come back next week for our next evaluation.